Today, I want to talk to you about something that many people take lightly, but something that carries heavy consequences, and that is alcohol. You see, alcohol is often seen as a way to relax, to celebrate, or to escape stress. But behind that short moment of pleasure, there is a long-term cost that many people don't fully understand. Let's start with the body. When alcohol enters your system, your liver goes to work immediately to break it down. But the liver can only handle so much at a time. Overloading it can lead to fatty liver, hepatitis, and even liver failure. Alcohol also weakens your heart, raises your blood pressure, and damages your stomach and kidneys. What feels like a harmless drink today can slowly destroy the very organs that keep you alive. Now let's talk about the brain. Alcohol is a depressant. It slows down communication between brain cells. That's why people lose balance, make poor decisions, and say things they later regret. Over time, regular drinking can shrink parts of the brain, weaken memory, reduce concentration, and increase the risk of depression and anxiety. It doesn't just change how you think. It changes who you become. And then there's your overall health and life. Alcohol weakens the immune system, making it harder for your body to fight disease. It increases the risk of cancers, especially of the liver, throat, and breast. It destroys families through addiction, causes accidents on the roads, fuels violence, and steals dreams. Many people lose their future not in one big moment, but one drink at a time. Here's the truth: alcohol never comes alone. It brings poor health, broken relationships, lost opportunities, and sometimes even death. You may think you control the drink, but if you're not careful, the drink will control you. But the good news is this: you have a choice. You can choose your health over habits. You can choose clarity over confusion. You can choose life over regret. Your body's the only place you have to live for the rest of your life. Treat it with respect. Protect your brain. Guard your health. And remember, real strength is not in drinking, it's in knowing when to say no. Thank you. Alcohol damages vital organs in the human body in ways that many people do not realize until serious harm has already occurred. The first and most affected organ is the liver, because the liver is responsible for breaking down and removing alcohol from the bloodstream. When a person drinks, the liver works very hard to process the alcohol, but it can only handle a small amount at a time. When more alcohol is consumed than the liver can manage, harmful substances begin to build up. Over time, this leads to fatty liver, where fat accumulates in liver cells and reduces the organ's ability to function properly. If drinking continues, the condition can worsen into alcoholic hepatitis, which causes inflammation, pain, nausea, and vomiting. In severe cases, it can progress to cirrhosis, where healthy liver tissue is replaced by scar tissue. Once cirrhosis develops, the damage is usually permanent, and the liver may fail completely, which can result in death or the need for a transplant. The heart is another vital organ that is seriously affected by alcohol. Many people believe that alcohol only affects the brain, but regular drinking weakens the heart muscle and interferes with its ability to pump blood effectively. This condition, known as alcoholic cardiomyopathy, can cause shortness of breath, fatigue, and swelling in the legs and feet. Alcohol also increases blood pressure, which raises the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Heavy drinking can disrupt the normal rhythm of the heart, leading to irregular heartbeats, which may be life-threatening. Over time, the combined stress on the heart can lead to long-term cardiovascular disease. Alcohol also harms the stomach and digestive system. When alcohol enters the body, it irritates the lining of the stomach, leading to inflammation known as gastritis. This can cause pain, nausea, vomiting, and in some cases, internal bleeding. Alcohol increases the production of stomach acid, which can result in ulcers and long-term digestive problems. It also affects the intestines by reducing the body's ability to absorb essential nutrients such as vitamins and minerals. As a result, people who drink heavily may suffer from malnutrition even if they eat regularly, because their bodies are unable to properly use the nutrients from food. The kidneys, which play a major role in filtering waste and maintaining the body's fluid balance, are also damaged by alcohol. Alcohol acts as a diuretic, meaning it causes the body to lose more water than usual. This leads to dehydration, which forces the kidneys to work harder. Long-term drinking weakens the kidneys and reduces their ability to regulate fluids, electrolytes, and blood pressure. In severe cases, alcohol can contribute to kidney failure, a life-threatening condition that requires dialysis or a transplant. Alcohol also affects the pancreas, an important organ that helps regulate blood sugar and aids digestion. Drinking alcohol can cause the pancreas to become inflamed, a condition known as pancreatitis. This condition is extremely painful and can be either sudden or long-lasting. Chronic pancreatitis interferes with digestion and can lead to diabetes because the pancreas can no longer produce enough insulin. This creates further health complications that can last for the rest of a person's life. Even the lungs and immune system are affected by alcohol. Alcohol weakens the body's natural defenses, making it easier for infections to attack the lungs and other organs. People who drink heavily are more likely to suffer from pneumonia, tuberculosis, and other serious infections. The body becomes slower at healing wounds and fighting diseases, which makes simple illnesses more dangerous. The damage alcohol causes to these vital organs does not usually happen overnight. It develops slowly, often without clear warning signs at first. Many people continue drinking while the damage quietly spreads inside their body. By the time serious symptoms appear, the harm may already be advanced and difficult to reverse. This is what makes alcohol so dangerous. It destroys the body silently, one organ at a time. If you want, I can also expand any of the other 5 keynotes to 600 words each. You said, expend 2 and 600 words, remove headings and conclusions. ChatGPT said, here is the expanded version of keynote 2 in about 600 words with no headings and no conclusion, exactly as you requested. Alcohol weakens brain function in both the short term and the long term, affecting the way a person thinks, feels, and behaves. When alcohol enters the bloodstream, it quickly reaches the brain and begins to interfere with the normal communication between brain cells. The brain works through electrical signals and chemical messengers that help control movement, speech, memory, and decision-making. Alcohol slows down these messages, which is why people who drink often experience delayed reactions, slurred speech, blurred vision, and poor coordination. This is also the reason why drinking and driving is so dangerous, because alcohol reduces the brain's ability to judge distance, speed, and risk. One of the most serious effects of alcohol on the brain is its impact on judgment and self-control. The part of the brain responsible for making wise decisions and controlling behavior becomes less active under the influence of alcohol. As a result, people may take risks they would normally avoid, such as unsafe sex, violence, or reckless driving. They may say or do things they later regret because alcohol weakens their ability to think clearly and control their impulses. This loss of control is often what leads to accidents, injuries, and legal problems. Memory is also strongly affected by alcohol. Even after a short period of heavy drinking, a person may experience blackouts, which are periods of time they cannot remember. During a blackout, the brain is unable to store new memories, even though the person may still be awake and moving. With long-term drinking, memory problems can become permanent. The brain's ability to learn, focus, and recall information becomes weaker, making it difficult to perform well in school, work, or daily life. Over time, alcohol can cause actual physical shrinkage of certain parts of the brain, leading to lasting cognitive impairment. Alcohol also has a strong effect on mental and emotional health. Although some people drink to feel relaxed or happy, alcohol is actually a depressant. This means it slows down brain activity and can increase feelings of sadness, stress, and hopelessness. Regular drinking increases the risk of depression and anxiety disorders. Many people become trapped in a cycle where they drink to escape their problems, but alcohol only makes those problems worse. Mood swings become more common, and a person may become irritable, aggressive, or emotionally unstable. With continued use, the brain can become dependent on alcohol. This leads to addiction, also known as alcohol use disorder. The brain begins to rely on alcohol to feel normal, and without it, a person may experience withdrawal symptoms such as shaking, sweating, nausea, anxiety, confusion, and in severe cases, seizures. Addiction changes the brain's reward system, making it extremely difficult for a person to stop drinking, even when they know it is harming their health, relationships, and future. Alcohol can also damage the nerves that carry messages between the brain and the rest of the body. This condition, known as nerve damage, can cause numbness, tingling, weakness, and problems with movement. These effects may become permanent if drinking continues for a long time. The connection between the brain and the body becomes weaker, affecting balance, coordination, and physical control. In young people, the effects of alcohol on the brain are even more dangerous because the brain is still developing. Drinking during teenage and early adult years can interfere with normal brain growth, especially in areas responsible for learning, memory, and decision-making. This can lead to long-term problems with attention, behavior, and emotional control that may last into adulthood. The harm alcohol does to the brain is often slow and hidden. A person may not notice the damage until their thinking becomes cloudy, their emotions become unstable, and their behavior begins to change. By that time, much of the damage may already be difficult to reverse. If you want, I can expand keynote 4, 5, or 6 in the same way. Alcohol greatly increases the risk of many serious diseases, some of which can be life-threatening and develop silently over many years. One of the most dangerous effects of alcohol is its strong link to cancer. Scientific research has shown that alcohol is a major risk factor for cancers of the mouth, throat, esophagus, liver, breast, and colon. When alcohol is broken down in the body, it becomes a toxic substance called acetaldehyde. This chemical damages DNA and prevents cells from repairing themselves properly, which allows cancer to develop and spread. The risk increases with the amount and length of time a person drinks, meaning the more a person drinks and the longer they drink, the higher their chance of developing cancer. Alcohol also plays a major role in the development of liver diseases, which are among the most common alcohol-related illnesses in the world. Long-term drinking causes fat to build up in the liver, leading to fatty liver disease. As drinking continues, the liver becomes inflamed, which can develop into alcoholic hepatitis. Over time, this inflammation leads to scarring of the liver known as cirrhosis. Cirrhosis prevents the liver from performing its vital functions such as filtering toxins, aiding digestion, and balancing chemicals in the body. A person with advanced cirrhosis may suffer from internal bleeding, severe infections, confusion, and eventually liver failure, which can be fatal without a transplant. Heart disease and stroke are also strongly linked to heavy alcohol use. Alcohol raises blood pressure, increases harmful cholesterol, and weakens the heart muscle. These changes damage the blood vessels and make it harder for the heart to pump blood efficiently. Over time, this can lead to heart attacks, irregular heartbeats, and strokes. A stroke can cause permanent brain damage, paralysis, speech problems, and even death. Many people underestimate how strongly alcohol contributes to these conditions, especially when drinking becomes a regular habit. Another serious condition linked to alcohol is diabetes. Alcohol interferes with the body's ability to control blood sugar levels. It damages the pancreas, the organ responsible for producing insulin, which regulates sugar in the blood. When the pancreas becomes inflamed due to alcohol use, the body may not produce enough insulin, leading to high blood sugar levels and the development of type 2 diabetes. Diabetes increases the risk of kidney failure, blindness, nerve damage, and heart disease, creating a chain of health problems that affect every part of the body. Alcohol also weakens the immune system, making the body more vulnerable to infections and diseases. People who drink heavily are more likely to suffer from illnesses such as pneumonia, tuberculosis, and severe viral infections. Their bodies cannot fight germs as effectively, and wounds heal more slowly. Even minor infections can become serious because the immune system is no longer strong enough to defend the body properly. Long-term alcohol use is also linked to digestive diseases. It damages the lining of the stomach and intestines and increases the risk of stomach ulcers, internal bleeding, and chronic inflammation. The body becomes less able to absorb important nutrients, especially vitamins such as B1, B12, and folic acid. Deficiencies in these vitamins can lead to anemia, weakness, nerve damage, and brain disorders. Mental illnesses are also closely connected to alcohol-related diseases. Long-term drinking increases the risk of severe depression, anxiety disorders, and long-lasting emotional instability. In some people, alcohol can trigger psychotic disorders where they lose touch with reality. These mental conditions often exist alongside physical diseases, making recovery more difficult and treatment more complex. Many of these diseases do not appear suddenly but develop slowly over years of drinking. A person may feel healthy while serious damage is taking place inside their body. By the time symptoms appear, the disease may already be advanced and difficult to treat. This is what makes alcohol-related diseases so dangerous. They progress quietly and affect multiple systems at the same time. If you would like, I can now expand Keynote 4, 5, or 6 in the same 600-word format. Alcohol has a powerful and often destructive impact on mental health, affecting emotions, thoughts, and behavior in deep and lasting ways. Many people begin drinking because they believe it helps them relax, forget problems, or feel happier. At first, alcohol may create a temporary feeling of calm or excitement. But this effect does not last. Alcohol is a depressant, which means it slows down the brain and nervous system. As its effects wear off, feelings of sadness, stress, and emotional pain often return more strongly than before. This creates a dangerous cycle in which a person keeps drinking to escape negative feelings, but alcohol continues to make those feelings worse. One of the most common mental health problems linked to alcohol is depression. Regular drinking changes the balance of chemicals in the brain that control mood. Over time, this imbalance can lead to long-lasting sadness, loss of interest in life, hopelessness, and low self-worth. People who drink heavily are far more likely to suffer from severe depression than those who do not. In some cases, depression caused or worsened by alcohol can become so serious that it leads to thoughts of self-harm or suicide. Alcohol also lowers a person's ability to control emotions and impulses, making these dangerous thoughts more likely to turn into actions. Anxiety is another major mental health problem strongly connected to alcohol use. Some people drink to reduce nervousness or fear in social situations, but alcohol actually increases anxiety over time. When the effects of alcohol wear off, the body can go into a state of restlessness, shaking, sweating, and fear. This makes anxiety stronger, not weaker. As a result, the person may feel they need to drink again just to feel normal. This dependence traps them in a continuous cycle of anxiety and drinking. Alcohol also affects how a person thinks and reacts emotionally. Long-term drinking can cause extreme mood swings, irritability, anger, and aggression. A person may become easily frustrated, lose patience quickly, and react to small problems with intense emotions. This emotional instability often damages relationships with family, friends, and coworkers. Arguments, violence, and broken trust are common in homes where alcohol misuse is present. Over time, people may become isolated and lonely, which further harms their mental health and pushes them deeper into addiction. Sleep disorders are another serious mental health effect of alcohol. Many people believe alcohol helps them sleep, but in reality, it disrupts normal sleep patterns. Alcohol may make a person fall asleep quickly, but it reduces the quality of sleep and prevents the brain from reaching the deep, restful stages needed for emotional balance and mental clarity. Poor sleep leads to fatigue, poor concentration, low motivation, and increased stress. Over time, this constant lack of quality rest weakens the mind and makes mental disorders worse. Alcohol can also lead to addiction, which is a serious mental health condition. Addiction changes the brain's reward system so that the person begins to crave alcohol above all else. They may feel unable to function without it. Their thoughts become centered around drinking, planning when to drink, and recovering from drinking. Even when they are aware of the harm alcohol is causing to their health, family, and future, they may still feel powerless to stop. This loss of control often leads to shame, guilt, and a sense of failure, which deepens mental suffering. In severe cases, long-term alcohol use can lead to serious mental disorders such as alcohol-induced psychosis. This condition may cause hallucinations, paranoia, confusion, and a loss of contact with reality. A person may see or hear things that are not there or develop false beliefs that others are trying to harm them. These symptoms can be frightening and dangerous both for the individual and for those around them. Young people are especially vulnerable to the mental health effects of alcohol. Because their brains are still developing, alcohol can interfere with emotional control, problem solving, and decision making. This can lead to long-term behavior problems, increased risk of addiction, and struggles with mental health well into adulthood. The damage alcohol causes to mental health often builds quietly over time. A person may not realize how much their thinking, emotions, and personality have changed until their relationships, work, and inner peace are already deeply affected. Alcohol has a serious impact on social life and personal safety, affecting not only the individual who drinks, but also the people around them. One of the most dangerous effects of alcohol is its strong connection to accidents and injuries. When a person drinks, their reaction time becomes slower, their vision becomes less clear, and their judgment becomes impaired. This makes everyday activities such as driving, operating machines, or even walking on stairs extremely dangerous. Many road accidents, workplace injuries, and fatal crashes happen because alcohol was involved. A single reckless decision made under the influence can permanently change or end a life in a matter of seconds. Alcohol is also a major cause of violence and crime. When people drink, their self-control and ability to manage anger decrease. Small arguments can quickly turn into serious fights. Many cases of domestic violence, assault, and sexual abuse occur when one or both people involved have been drinking. Alcohol often removes fear of consequences, allowing aggressive behavior to increase. Families suffer deeply when alcohol fuels violence in the home. Children who grow up in such environments often experience fear, trauma, and emotional damage that can affect them for the rest of their lives. Relationships with family and friends are also severely damaged by alcohol misuse. At first, a person's drinking may seem social or harmless, but over time, the behavior often changes. Broken promises, lies, missed responsibilities, and emotional distance become common. Trust is slowly destroyed. Loved ones may feel hurt, disappointed, or helpless as they watch the person change. Many marriages and friendships end because alcohol becomes more important than communication, loyalty, and respect. A person who drinks heavily may lose the support of those who once cared deeply for them. Alcohol also affects performance at school and work. Students who drink often struggle with concentration, memory, and motivation. Their grades may begin to fall, and their future opportunities may be limited. At work, alcohol affects punctuality, productivity, and decision-making. A worker who drinks regularly may arrive late, miss days of work, or perform poorly on the job. This can lead to job loss, financial problems, and long-term career damage. Once a person loses stability in education and employment, stress and pressure increase, which can push them to drink even more. Financial problems are another major consequence of alcohol misuse. A large amount of money can be spent on alcohol over time, often without the person realizing how much they are losing. Medical bills from alcohol-related illnesses or injuries can place a heavy burden on families. Legal problems such as fines, court fees, and imprisonment may also result from drunk driving, violence, or other crimes committed under the influence. These financial pressures can lead to poverty, debt, and ongoing stress for both the drinker and their family members. Alcohol also plays a role in risky sexual behavior. Under the influence of alcohol, people are more likely to engage in unprotected sex, have multiple partners, or make decisions they would normally avoid. This increases the risk of sexually transmitted infections and unplanned pregnancies. These consequences can affect health, education, family life, and emotional well-being for many years. The impact of alcohol on the wider community is also severe. Hospitals, police departments, and social services are often overwhelmed by alcohol-related cases. Road accidents, violent crimes, and health emergencies linked to alcohol place a heavy burden on public resources. Communities with high levels of alcohol misuse often experience lower safety, higher crime rates, and greater social instability. Alcohol misuse often leads to isolation. As relationships break down and trust fades, many people find themselves alone. Friends may stop calling, family members may distance themselves for their own protection, and social connections slowly disappear. This loneliness can deepen emotional pain and push the person further into addiction. The individual becomes trapped in a cycle where alcohol both creates and temporarily numbs their social problems, while actually making them worse over time. The effects of alcohol on social life and safety spread far beyond the person who drinks. Innocent people are often injured, traumatized, or even killed because of someone else's decision to drink. The damage to families, friendships, careers, and communities can last for generations. Prevention and self-control play a powerful role in protecting a person's life, health, and future from the harmful effects of alcohol. The decision to avoid or limit alcohol is not always easy, especially in a society where drinking is often seen as normal or even encouraged. However, true strength is shown when a person is able to make choices that protect their body and mind rather than harm them. Self-control begins with understanding the risks of alcohol and being aware of how easily a habit can turn into dependence. Many people believe they can stop at any time, but addiction often develops quietly, without warning. By choosing to set clear limits or avoid alcohol completely, a person takes an important step toward long-term safety and well-being. Education is one of the strongest tools of prevention. When people understand what alcohol does to their body, brain, and relationships, they are better prepared to make informed decisions. Young people, in particular, need correct information before they are exposed to peer pressure. Schools, families, and communities have an important role in teaching the dangers of alcohol and encouraging healthy alternatives. When prevention begins early, it reduces the chances of future addiction and health problems. Self-control is also closely connected to emotional strength and decision-making. Many people turn to alcohol as a way to cope with stress, sadness, failure, or loneliness. Learning healthier ways to manage emotions is a key part of prevention. Activities such as exercise, sports, music, talking to trusted friends, prayer, meditation, and creative hobbies can reduce stress and give a sense of purpose without harming the body. When people build strong emotional skills, they no longer feel that alcohol is their only escape. Support from family and friends is another important factor in prevention. A person who feels valued, understood, and supported is less likely to depend on alcohol for comfort. Strong relationships provide encouragement and accountability. When someone chooses to avoid alcohol, they may face pressure or teasing, but having people who respect and support the choice makes a big difference. Families that communicate openly and set clear expectations create safer environments for young people and adults alike. For those who have already developed a drinking habit, self-control can still be rebuilt with effort and support. Recovery is not easy, but it is possible. Many people have successfully changed their lives by recognizing the harm alcohol was causing and seeking help. Counseling, support groups, medical treatment, and community programs can guide individuals through the process of quitting and rebuilding their lives. Asking for help is not a weakness, it is a sign of courage and responsibility. Prevention also includes making safe choices in daily life. Choosing not to drink before driving, refusing to ride with a drunk driver, avoiding environments where heavy drinking is common, and setting personal rules about alcohol use all reduce the risk of harm. Small decisions made every day can shape a person's future in powerful ways. A single moment of self-control can prevent lifelong regret. Financial protection is another benefit of prevention. Avoiding alcohol saves money that can be used for education, healthcare, housing, and personal goals. Many people do not realize how much they spend on alcohol over time. Prevention allows a person to invest in their future instead of slowly wasting resources on something that damages their health and opportunities. Self-control also strengthens confidence and self-respect. When a person is able to say no to harmful habits, they develop a strong sense of identity and personal power. They are no longer controlled by pressure, cravings, or negative emotions. This inner strength helps them succeed in other areas of life such as education, career, and relationships. Prevention protects not only the individual but also society as a whole. Fewer accidents, less violence, healthier families, and stronger communities result when people make wise choices about alcohol. Hospitals become less crowded, alcohol-related emergencies, roads become safer, and children grow up in more stable homes. The benefits of prevention reach far beyond a single person. Choosing self-control over harmful behavior is a lifelong process. It requires awareness, discipline, and sometimes sacrifice. However, the rewards are deep and lasting. A healthy body, a clear mind, strong relationships, and a hopeful future are all protected by the simple but powerful decision to choose wisely each day.